We still do 7 NUFC Matters shows for free a week. But if you want to support the channel, there are a few ways of doing it. Hit the like button on each live broadcast or video. This helps the channel grow. Hit the subscribe button and select the all notifications option. Hit the thanks button to buy a super sticker. You can do this on the live chat too. You can also join our Patreon page or buy us a coffee at the link in all of our video descriptions below. We are also looking for sponsors. If you want our latest advertising rates and how you can get involved, then email John at nufcmatters1892@gmail.com. Thanks for watching.
Hush now, city kids, gather round for other myths. Hush now, city kids. When it came to me after so long, I didn't have no choices in the streets where I was from. When I think about the pain, I didn't have no choices. I took what I had sworn. Hush now, city kids, gather round for urban myths. Hush now, city kids. But you know, they wouldn't let you have it any other way. Stepping back from what you lack, the past just pulls you back in again. Save me from myself, it just carries on, just carries on.
Good evening, welcome along to NUFC Matters. It is the Fans Forum, Monday the 15th of September, and it's a full panel. We've got Pablo in the wings as well. So without further ado, we'll find out what the lads thought of Newcastle's 1-0 win over Wolves. And it's good evening to Magnus. How are you, mate?
Oh, great. Absolutely smashing, How are you
Very
guys?
good. Very good, mate. What was your feelings on that match at the weekend, then, mate? Give us your views.
Yeah, I mean, they were really out the blocks, against us, and it took, I think it took only 8 seconds for them to get the first sort of opportunity, and I mean, the first 15 minutes were a little bit nerve-wracking, but at the same time, Nick Pope to the rescue, and the rest of the game, I think the defensive line held pretty well. It's just like give a big credit to the defensive line, catching their third clean sheet in 4. Absolutely no complaints there. And if I have to single out any of the front men, then obviously Jacob Murphy and Walter Mate had a beautiful goal. Absolutely. Great technique from both guys. This was not an easy cross to make, and I mean, Konali, sensational as always, putting out fires, and he should have had that goal. When he hit the post, unlucky. I mean, anything negative about this game? I mean, I think we should have probably gotten a red card, and it kind of upsets me that they didn't even look at it any further. Great to win the game. We didn't play particularly well, but as long as teams are trying to hold back and send long passes back, they had it covered all afternoon. Absolutely no issues. How they even think it's a good idea to do high balls at us doesn't seem to work. They can do that all day long, and we will keep creating. It felt like a little bit of them playing sort of after the international break. They needed a little bit of time to get their weapons together and connect a few plays. But all in all, happy with the 3 points. And Walter Messi has already scored more goals than both Sesko and Isak together combined. So Walter Messi, welcome to the club, and great winner from you, really. And I don't have much more to say about it.
Good stuff, Magnus. Thank you. What's your take then? You don't often get to go second. This is mad, isn't it? It's, you normally have he normally has to hear everybody in and then go, well, as everybody else has said. So here he is, second on the show tonight.
Yeah, I know, but to be fair, like I have gone missing a bit recently, so I do expect to be relegated down the ranks.
It's a big kitchen you've got.
You know what I mean? But the fact I turned up an hour and a half early today, and I thought, oh, I'll jump on early at like just after 5:30. Turned it on. By the way, I was on here waiting, thinking, where the fuck is everyone? And then I looked. And I looked in the comments, and I could see Roger Cook was in there as well.
All right. Very good. I'm just going to interrupt you quickly here because Tilly's in the chat now, and Darren has advised us that it's Tilly's 9th birthday. I'm not sure why she's in the chat. Happy 9th birthday, Tilly.
Happy birthday, Tilly. Happy 16th.
On Saturday, our 9th or 12th day. It's one of the. It's one of
the. Can't remember, Tilly. He says, "Oh dear me."
Tilly.
He's just winding you up, Tilly. He's wanting a bite off you. Go on, Ian. What did you make of the match?
Yeah, it was one of those games where, good teams, really, really good teams, which I think we are actually now. I think we're a really good team. It's not about one player, it's about the collective. Good teams will maybe not play amazing, but get a win. But I actually thought, I'm not saying we didn't play well, I thought everyone played well. One player, Magnus just touched on it, that I think is trying to say this without swearing because I'm so early on here, is probably the best midfielder I've seen play for Newcastle. And I said this about Bruno 2 seasons ago, and we argued with other midfielders, but fucking hell, Tonali can literally do everything, and he brings the best out in Bruno. So I'm not gonna 2-time Bruno with Tonali. You know what I mean? I still love Bruno because Tonali lets Bruno do what Bruno can do, and people slate Bruno saying, "Oh, he missed this pass, he missed that pass," but he goes for killer passes. Bruno is now allowed to be that player that he is. Tonali literally links everything together. He can defend, he can attack, he's quick. How that didn't go in off the inside of the post, I don't know. But I honestly think he is. I'm going to say it, and Alan might shoot us down after this because we know the issues, Darren, that Alan's got with world class. But I actually think that Tonali, in the next few years, could be one of the best central midfielders in the world. I just think he's got everything, and his performance I thought was fucking brilliant. I thought he was excellent. He was everywhere. I thought there was. I looked at some of the ratings as well, but I'm not going to go on too long. But now I'm on early, I might as well have a go. But people are slating Murphy. I thought Murphy was excellent. Murphy's cross for Big Nick was exactly where it needed to be, and Big Nick referenced it afterwards when he was speaking and said, Murph said, "You get in the box and I'll find you." That's what he does, and that's what he does. He's not the greatest winger ever, but fucking hell, he can put a cross in, and he does put a cross in, and he puts it where it needs to be. And now we've got a striker, I think, that's probably, I know it's dead early days, and maybe I'm getting a bit excited, but we've got a striker that maybe he's not Isak, but he can do other things that Isak can't. He can hold the ball up for a start off. He links play up really well, which I know Isak does as well. But he headed that ball. It was slightly behind him. The power he put through his neck to get that ball in and put it back where it came from, I thought was great. And I just thought, do you know what it is? We maybe collectively are 10% better than we were when we had E-sacks or football sack. That's what I say.
Good stuff. Straight into the point. Thank you, Ian.
No worries.
Alan, good evening. A win is a win. Doesn't matter how you get it. And another clean sheet as well, Alan.
Well, Steve, you must have read my mind, because I'm going to say it, that Nick Pope needs to have a little bit more respect of some of the fan base, because his clean sheet record, Steve, is not far off being in the top 25 in the history of the Premier League. You know, he's got 76 clean sheets now. And if he gets 80, he'll be in the top 25 and rising. So as much as he's not very good with his feet, he is improving. He's got 3 clean sheets out of 4. So full respect to Nick Pope. He's come out, whether it's a competition with Aaron Ramsdale on his tail now, I don't know, but he has improved this season. First 15 minutes, like Magnus said, you know, Wolves were at it. And Pope done some very good saves. How can you drop Shaw and Burton at the minute, even though we've got 2, you know, which I think are going to be the future, and Malik and Botman in the background sitting waiting. I do believe there'll be changes, and I hate to say it, Darren, but what Ian said about Murphy, he does what he does on the tin. He crosses the ball, and the players, he's got assists galore for Isaac, and he's doing his job. And as much as we might not think he's up to scratch, he's keeping Elanga out the team. And Elanga's got to prove to us and every Newcastle fan to improve to be in the team. So as far as that's concerned, you cannot not take out Murphy.
About Murphy that I think, best thing about him, if he was sat on the bench, he would never piss and moan or whinge about it.
Yeah,
he would take it.
I agree with that.
He's a great squad player. If he gets his game, he'll do his best. If he's shit, he's shit, but he will always try his best and he'll always do what he does.
Yep, definitely, yeah. And it's up to Elanga to improve. You know, he's got to do the system, score goals to get in the team on a regular basis. So that's what we want, surely, lads. 2 players for every position, like the top 2 teams. I'll just leave it that, Steve, because I only saw the highlights of the game. Nick Vermaata scored a brilliant goal. I thought it was excellent. Second half died a death. I know I got the impression, I just don't know how Nick Barnes didn't get a foul at least and not the player sent off. I mean, the forearm smash in the face, I just don't know how the referee or even VAR never saw that. But overall, Steve, a win's a win, and 3 points on the board, and bring on Barcelona and give it a go there on Thursday night. But I'm sure we'll go into that later on. But a win's a win, Steve. I'll let Jeff get on.
Yep, and with Jeff comes his own intro. Here he is, Jeff. Over to you. I've got you some drum roll bongos, Jeff, for whenever you come on now, mate. And Darren is suitably impressed with that. His arms are folded. If I was a body language expert, I'd say he's not looking forward to this, Jeff. Over to you.
Well, it was a good game, I thought, eventually, because like everybody else, I couldn't get it. I tried, I bought Sky, and I've been forced into buying something else, and I'm sure I'm going to get forced into a Virgin if that's not some sort of strange thing I don't want to get into. And I ended up, the only place I can get it is listening to Ando in the car, right? Because I live in the middle of nowhere and we don't get digital stuff out here at all. We don't even get analog. We do it by smoke signals out here. Anyway, from what I could gather from the highlights, which are kindly provided by the club, our defensive midfielder was brilliant as usual. Tonali always finds space. That's the interesting thing about him. He's always got space. And everyone's favourite player knocked some bloody good crosses in. And, it was, what do you expect? We had 16 shots, 4 on target. Not the target was playing. And, you know, they didn't manage much. Was it 8 against 3? And, you know, I thought their goalie was man of the match, Sam Johnson. Incidentally, was the only sort of surname that I could recognise. Right? It was, again, another Panini sticker team. God knows where all these characters come from. They don't play very well together and don't seem to have a sort of, you know, some sort of recruitment ethic. But if you know, change your manager too often, that's going to happen. Yeah, so I wasn't, you know, apart from the mighty Wang who came on and got a shot away early on and looked like he might be able to do something. It really did peter out after that. And yeah, Ramona, what was his name? Gomez. With that really rather, he was like practicing for Movember or something with that little rather tarty moustache. No, I wasn't impressed with him either. Yeah, so I thought it was generally a good game for one of not being able to see it. Right. Because I ended up going online trying to find it and nearly ended up with some of those nasty diseases and viruses that your mother and, you know, certainly the school nurse warned you about. Yes, so yeah.
Well,
we got away with it anyway. I was reasonably impressed.
You didn't search for Mighty Wang, did you?
we'll move on.
It's spelt with an H, I believe.
Darren, what did you make, not of Jeff's performance, but of Newcastle's performance at the weekend?
I'll get the positive thing out of the way first. 3 points on the board eventually. Up the table will go. And we're one if it gets morale for Thursday night. But you know, could possibly get negativity off me, Steve, and you know that. I thought Barnes was dreadful. Honestly, I thought he was the worst player on the pitch. Howie Barnes. Yes, maybe got a cross, but I'm sorry. He missed a set-off on 2 yards. And he's not a big game player. Big game players score goals like that when you need to step up and set the team to the light. And he's real good. He doesn't win anything. But I just hope Eddie Howe doesn't be too loyal this season. He needs to start playing the squad. And if he plays Sean Botman, if he plays one of them, he's going to drop one of them. It's going to be an issue because they're going to get knocked off playing. Like Trippier was bad. Again, he should have played Lewis Hall in my eyes. I thought Trippier had a really bad game. Our set pieces were shocking again. Maybe could be the first man 2 times. He needs to come up with set pieces because he can't cough for shit. But over and all, Volleyball scored a goal. His debut at St James, so it was good. But Newcastle need adaptaries coming deep. That's the thing. What's going to affect us at the minute because he's coming deep with the ball. He might be a tall man. He's too far in our half sometimes. But
who was?
Walter.
Voldemort. He kept coming too far too deep. And I say Nick Pope. He's kept clean sheets, Alan. But sorry, but I'm not a fan of Nick Pope. He made what should have been 2-0. He made the good save the first. The second hour was a good save, but the second shot he should be saving that realistically. So it's still early on the season. You still get follows of Nick Pope. You're guaranteed that. You wait for it. Well, I'll do. So and Tonali was man of the match all day long. Ran his socks off. You have a team of Tonali's will win 5-0 every game. Bruno gave a ball away a few times, a bit irritating. He hasn't got a license to do that. Perez in that place lose a ball. I expect a bit better sometimes. But overall, we're one. That's the most important. 3 points on the board.
Okay, good stuff. Barry?
Yeah, I mean, overall, it was a good result. It was a decent team performance. I mean, the guys are right. There was people who played better than others. I thought Murphy had a reasonable game. I'm not going to say he was brilliant, but he did what Alan said. He did what he said, what he says on the tin. And at the end of the day, Murphy, the way he's playing at the minute, is way ahead of Elanga. There's no way on earth I would pick Elanga instead of Murphy at present. I mean, hopefully Elanga's going to get into the team a bit more. Agree with Jeff. I was listening to John Anderson's commentary on the match, and I love one of the statements he read out, and it was somewhere along the lines of, the earth is covered by 65% water. The other 35% is covered by Sandro Tonali. And I just thought that's absolutely superb, because that guy is just incredible. He's going to be the best midfielder we've ever had. He's just getting better and better with every game. I think Bruno looked tired. Maybe these 2 games for Brazil, he didn't look as fit as he could have been. But you know what you get with that guy? He's not going to refuse to play. Even if he's absolutely drained, he's still going to be in there. He's still going to get stuck in. I agree with Alan. I'm one of the first people to knock Nick Pope and 2 of his saves. Without them, it could have been a totally different game. And I know a few people have said that game, I think you guys said it as well yesterday, Steve, that last year we would have gotten beat, or we would have gotten a draw against Wolves. We wouldn't have battled on, and we wouldn't have kept going. The big German, I think, is just going to be class. I think considering how long he's been there and how much time he's had to train with the team, and I know obviously they're saying about him coming too far back and coming searching for the ball, but that's the type of game he plays. That's the type of strike.
It is.
Isn't a Wissa.
As long as there's someone going further up and he's coming back,
yeah,
we've got 3 up top.
I think that's Wissa's game, but Ian, that's Wissa's game going forward. I think that's what's going to happen, interchanging them.
Yeah, it was again his first goal, and it was a cracking first goal. It was a brilliant cross by Murphy. It'll do him the world of good. I was praying for it. I got some stick off a nearby Scouts fan who said you were the one who was wishing that Isaac broke his leg on his debut, and he went, aye, so it's come back to haunt you. Look at Wissa. Karma, what goes around comes around. I thought, why didn't I just keep my gob shut? You know what I mean? I just wish him a terrible performance. But yeah, the lads did us proud. They went for it. Like you guys have said, they had a lot more shots on target than they have done recently. Like Supermax said during the week, you've got to try. You've got to have these shots, even if they go miles wide. You're still having them. George has said the same, and that's how the team needs to develop. And I think they're going to get there. Great performance. We've got the 3 points we needed. We've got moved up the table, get closer to the Mackems, which is like, it's my heart's been struggling every time we've been beneath the Mackems, but that's another thing. And roll on Barcelona.
Good stuff. George, good evening. What's your views on the game at the weekend?
Well, it was patchy, wasn't it? There were some good bits and there was some very ordinary bits. But I've got to say, Nick Pope's not had the lickings of a dog off some supporters this season and a little bit of last season. Those 2 saves in the first 2 minutes were world class. I know people don't like that word, but they were world class. They just weren't good. They were out of this world. They were absolutely fantastic. And at that stage, if we'd gone 2-0 down, I doubt if we would have recovered from that. So he gets. And after that, the rest of the game, he did his job well, and you can't criticise him after that. Going through the team, there were 1 or 2, had bad periods of passing, like both the fullbacks did, made missed passes and put under pressure. But gradually, they got on top of it, and the net result was we carved out another clean sheet. I don't like criticising individuals, but I've got to say, by the time we got about 70 minutes, I was actually wondering what Harvey Barnes was doing on the pitch. I couldn't remember a thing he'd done. And when he did get the chance to do things, he made a mess of it. I mean, that through ball for him to run into, to cross for Murphy to score the goal, and it ended up offside. How can you, when you're the wide man standing on the touchline, look along the lane and run yourself offside? I mean, it's just schoolboy stuff. I really was disappointed with that. And of course, everybody's favourite player. And for God's sake, somebody in Saudi Arabia is writing a contract now for Sandro Tonali, because there isn't a midfielder at the moment better than Sandro Tonali, whether it's for us or whether it's for Italy. I mean, his game for Italy the other night, he carried Italy through that game. They were going to lose that game to Israel if it hadn't been for Tonali, and he put icing on the cake by scoring a beautiful winning goal. So we really do have a gem there who's 90 minutes. You know, he runs faster, he runs longer, his passing ability, his shooting ability. I mean, he measured that shot that hit the post. And how many times, 9 times out of 10, it hits the post and it trickles into the net? Well, just how I looked at it, it bounced out the other way. So it was just tremendous. The two centre backs did quite well, in fact, more than well. People have been commenting about, you know, their players going away on internationals. I could be wrong. Maybe I'm misreading it, but I think that since Dan Burn got in the England team, he's more commanding. He's got a confidence that he spreads that he didn't have before. He was always steady, but now it's more than that. And I think getting selected for England's done a lot of good for him and done a lot of good for the team, as with the other players. And then saving best to last, our new centre forward. Well, tall man, very quick feet, good in the air, hold up, no problem. And if he comes looking for the ball, you could say it was because that's how they expected him. He was actually telling people where he wanted the ball to be. You could see that in the short space of time that he's had with his colleagues, they were understanding him and he was understanding them. And part of that was them coming deep to pick the ball up and guide them to where he wanted it. So I thought it was absolutely great for a debut. No surprises that he had to go off halfway through the second half because he was probably jiggered by then. But he's going to be something to remember, no question about that. And you know, it's so reminiscent of the other bloke whose name I'm never going to mention again. That it's exactly the same. He came unknown, come on the pitch, and we weren't sure what we were getting, and all the rest of it. And then at 6 months, he was a star. Well, I don't think it'll take Nick 6 months to be a star. I think he's well on his way there already. And the last thing for Jacob Murphy, who gets absolutely little or no praise at all, his crossing ability is without doubt some of the best in the league. Last year, it's interesting. Last year, the assists in the people who got the most assists in the Premier League were play for us now. Top was Elanga and second was Jacob Murphy. And surely we can manufacture some crosses out of them too to help our centre forward score goals. So good to win. You know, it got the points on the board. Lots of good things about it. One or two nervy things about it as well. But my only minor criticism was that I'm not sure what Harvey Barnes was doing on there, and why he left him on so long is another question. But I'm happy with the win. That's the important thing.
Okay, good stuff. Cheers, George. Kevin, thoughts on the game of the weekend?
Workmanlike result that's what was needed. A win's a win. I thought the Wolves were there to disrupt, you know, do whatever they could just to get out of the game with a point in the game. I thought that I think Jeff even mentioned him, Gomez. I thought he was the dirtiest footballer on that pitch on Saturday because he kicked everything above grass. I thought he could have been quite easily walking down the tunnel after a few naughty challenges on Bruno, especially, and he had a few words at him and all the above. And I thought that the only thing that Barnes really contributed, really, if you look at it, his first touch should have been better for the one that the lad should have been sent off for. First touch should have been better and he should be burying the ball in the back of the net, but that's here and there. But anyway, that's another thing. But yeah, it was like I agree with George, it was a stop-start. It was, again, Wolves done what they came to do. Thought Nick Pope's first save especially was the world-class one. Yeah, there was a little bit for the second one. He still has to make it, but at the end of the day, in my opinion, that's what he's there to do. That's his job.
Exactly. That's what I thought. The second save.
But he's still got to save it. But at the same time, he looked calm, composed, a dominance in that area, which we really haven't seen before. Look to release attacks quickly to get us on the front foot going forward. But and I've said previous weeks, my biggest concern is obviously the attacking third, but that will come once, because obviously Nick Baltimore, for me, yes, he might drop deep, but if you look at it really in more depth, you had players running off of him. You have to have the players running off. Whoever that is, even if it's a Bruno or a Tonali, was even making them runs. Joe Linton to a degree, but again, his first touch, he was playing one touch passes around the corner and players were running on. It might not have been perfect, but that's you can see the ideas, what they're trying to get him to do, and you can see the thought process. You can see, but all that will come with time, which is
Harry Kane's been doing that for years, Kevin.
Oh, absolutely, and he brings players in,
been scoring goals as well.
I totally agree, and that's what he's made his name on, and getting into the box late and scoring goals. Getting onto the goal, I thought was a fabulous header. His movement was dragging the defender away, creating the space, possibly for somebody else if the cross was under hit. And he got his big old 6'6" frame on noggin on the end of it. And it was a wonderful header. And you as a fan, you think you just want to get him a goal, off and running, get him a goal. It doesn't matter how it comes. And he scored a well-worked goal. But for outside of Harvey Barnes, who I thought was pretty much a passenger throughout the whole game, he might as well not even been there. But for me, what caused more problems was Joe Linton running all over the shop with his head cut off. He lost his shape. That's how they broke lines. That's how they got in multiple times, because Joe Linton was halfway across near the east stand, and I was like, what you doing? Just stay where you put, let him do that. Let Bruno do that job. Let Murphy do that job. You don't have to be over there. They just switched it. If you watch the game back, they switched the ball from left to right to left quickly with the 3-5-2 to play. So if you're not there, then you're isolating Tino Livramento and/or Kieran Trippier. So it was that was the frustration, just a bit of lack of discipline, mainly from him, which you don't really expect from, but he just was all over the place for me. But it is what that is. Hey, look, we got the win. We can't, but you couldn't be any worse than Harvey Barnes, in my opinion. Because I'm still scratching my head. But but overall, the bigger thing was the result. I'm not worried about the performance. You can see the development of interplay up top. You can see the movements, what they're trying to create with the integration of Baltimore. I think a lot of people were expecting Wissa to play, but obviously he's injured. Didn't expect Baltimore to come in. Completely different. So
I thought he would play. The record I just see would start and score.
Well, depended on when he started, but never mind.
I did say last week he was starting today.
Right. So
he does. Even the stop clock's right twice a day, mate.
Exactly.
So overall, great win, gets us up the division. Barry said about Sunderland, don't really care where they are. I'm more worried about chasing the top four and getting into that Champions League spot, to be perfectly honest. And the Barcelona one is going to be interesting because they had a little comfortable result last night.
Good stuff. Cheers, Kev. Thank you. Al-Walid, what did you make of the game at the weekend?
It was a very needed win, especially before Champions League. And of course, I was upset regarding with the news, but Voltmade scored a really great goal. And I repeat it many times. It was like endorphin shot after all what we have been through, and score first game for him in the Premier League. That's really good something, and I can't wait to see him against Barcelona, inshallah.
Good stuff. Okay, short but sweet from Al Walid. We have got a look ahead to Barcelona coming up in the next half of the show. Don't forget as well, if you want to tune in to Talk of the Toon tomorrow, we're on at 6, but it is a pre-recorded show. I've already done that tonight. That will be on at 6 o'clock, so you will have to... oh, yeah, Pablo. Yes, sorry, Pablo, mate. I forgot. It's because you're in the bottom corner, and I think I've gone round everybody. Go on, Pablo. Give us... Well done, Darren. You keep me right, son.
Three times I've been right tonight, then. Hat-trick.
Cheers, Dad. I thought I was getting a night off there. I was just sat watching happily. Much needed. And when I say much needed, it's not often in football you can say, oh, we need a win or it's that important, when you're 4 games into a season. But with the circumstances that we've dealt with over the summer, with the 3 games that we've had prior, when you look at Wolves on paper, they're probably the weakest team we've played. So I think all the pressure building up to that, I think when I saw the result on Saturday, it was more a kind of sigh of relief rather than anything else. I think the first 20 minutes of the game, we were sloppy. It was evident we were sloppy. We were off the pace half a yard. That being said, Wolves looked good, for the first 20 minutes. And you're kind of thinking, oh, my God, is it going to be one of them days? And then the pressure builds and the pressure builds. And I think the ramifications of a defeat probably on Saturday with Barcelona coming on Thursday, you then go in playing probably one of the best teams in the world, on the back of 4 disappointing results. But that being said, we've dug in. I think probably one thing that sticks out for me is Sandro Tonali definitely is the jewel in our crown, which you've pointed out several times. I think bringing Murphy back in, I know Darren's not as big a fan as we all know, but I think I've said last time I was on that for me, Alanga just hasn't impressed me whatsoever. And that's not to say he's going to, but for me, that was an evident change that we needed to make because he was running into brick walls and creating the sum total of nothing. Yeah. For me, Harvey Barnes at the minute, and I wouldn't say I'm upset, but I'm disappointed in Harvey because I think back end of last season, I said if we can get him running the games, I actually think we'll see the best of him. But for me, it's just disappointing. He seems to run into cul-de-sacs. He seems to do the same cutback. He doesn't offer us anything going past the fullback. And when you put a big 6'6" Walter Mardé up front, you want wingers beating fullbacks and at least creating, that opportunity for him to put it in the net. But I think to point out, I think that interception from Fabi Shah, Jesus Christ, when that cross come in, what a phenomenal interception that was. That is one of the most difficult skills to master when a ball's fizzed across like that, to then steer it clear. So, so big respect to Fabi for that. Again, for me, I did see Byrne. We kind of have this, and we know it's a problem we've got. When we've got balls played in between a fullback and our centre-backs, sometimes we get stretched. And for me, that seems where we're most vulnerable. And I think teams do pick up on that. And that's my fear for the Barcelona game that we're going to get onto. We've got excellent fullbacks, but sometimes that gap between fullbacks and centre-backs is where we look vulnerable as shit. So that'll be intriguing. I think let's talk about the big German guy up front. I agree to a certain degree with what Darren said. I highlighted the fact that he was dropping deep. He was probably showing a little too much. I was worried he wasn't in the box. But when you look at the flip side of that, the kind of enthusiasm that he was showing to get on that ball, to make an impact. Debuts are never easy. And a debut at St. James's Park with all that pressure on you, where maybe you weren't going to start if Whistle was there, I think he handled it superbly. The kind of composure he showed on the ball, and just the general attitude of the guy. He was playing with a smile on his face, which is nice to see, which we didn't see from that striker that we used to have up front. And for me, it was magnificent to see him get on the end of that ball. I don't know who you can pick an issue. It was a bit like a Peter Crouch stroke, Les Ferdinand kind of header, wasn't it? Right from the back post. But on the whole, mate, incredibly chuffed, incredibly grateful to get that win, because I think that will now kickstart. We're learning to play a different way. With Walter Mardé, is he a 9 or is he a 10? Maybe in the future we have the option now of playing with him behind Wissa, for certain European games, for teams that set up different. Maybe that'll be an option in the future. But again, big respect to Nick Pope. I'm not his biggest fan. I've always said that, but the lad is producing the goods, and fair play to him. You know, that's what he needs to do, because Ramsdale is a very capable kind of replacement. But on the whole, mate, absolutely buzzing. I said 2-0 last week. We got a 1-0, so long may that continue.
Good stuff. It was worth getting you on, Pablo.
Thanks.
Nah, it wasn't.
Quick ad break. Back after this.
A big thanks to all our sponsors, Skips and Bins. You can find them at their website, skipsandbins.com. Contact them at www.skipsandbins.com/contact. Say hello to low-cost waste disposal with pay-as-you-go and contract waste management. A big thanks to Mr. Vicky's Sauces, handmade in Cumbria. You can find them at their website, mrvickys.co.uk, email info@mrvickys.co.uk, or telephone 01768 210 102. Thanks to our fanzine sponsor, United Group Travel. There are no strangers on our tours, just friends you haven't met yet. 2-crew driver and courier, local family company, 3-star plus quality hotels and no interchanges. Hot and cold snacks and drinks available on the coach, all excursions included. Their website, unitedgrouptravel.com, email beverly.ugtl@gmail.com, telephone 01670 632 460 or 0791 666 4174. Just £30 per person deposit. Thanks to Media Arts for all the help with the technical side of things. And if you like listening to us as a podcast, you can go to Sports Social Podcast Network or to iTunes, Spotify, or other podcast providers. If you want to support the show, then hit the subscribe button. It's free. We do 7 shows a week. Hit the little thumb up under the video, which is the like button, or click share to share to your social media. You can also join the channel on YouTube by hitting the join button for as little as $1.99 a month. If you want to become an NUFC Matters member, you can go to nufcmatterspodcast.co.uk. It's a £25 one-off fee. You get your pen, you get your badge, a key ring, you get your beer mat and your fridge magnet and your membership card, nufcmatterspodcast.co.uk for that. And we have an event early next year, 13th of February 2026, an evening with Beardsley, Waddle and Gascoigne takes place at the Tyne Theatre and Opera House. To buy your tickets for that event, go to the box office 0191 243 1171 or Tyne Theatre and Opera House.uk.
Okay, Christmas do is on the horizon. We've got a guest and we've got a date, 21st of November, which is a Friday night. Tickets for an evening with Warren Barton. He is flying in from America for a couple of weeks to take in a couple of Newcastle games and do some work at the club as usual. So £12 a ticket is the price. Warren and Joe Allen have agreed to do the show for free, which means that all proceeds from the event will go to Age UK North Tyneside Dementia. So a great way for us to celebrate Christmas and get together at the Tyneside Irish Centre. £12 a ticket, 7 till 10, an evening with Warren Barton and Joe Allen. So get yourself along. And a little bit off in the future, but traditionally we've done an evening with Peter Beardsley. And we are doing that on the 30th of January, and that is 7 till 10:30 at the Tyneside Irish Centre as well. Joe will be comparing that event. And again, for Age UK North Tyneside, both sets of tickets are available now on the website. And if you need a reminder, it's nufcmatterspodcast.co.uk. If you hang fire though for the Beardsley tickets, they will be available on voucher in due course for a little bit of discount. So there you go. Get yourself onto the website if you want to buy your tickets for that now. Let's move on then to look ahead to the Barcelona game, which is this coming Thursday. Newcastle back in the Champions League. And changes, Ian, to the team. What would you do? There is going to be rotation, you would imagine. And on top of that, give us a prediction.
I think there'll be changes at fullback, which I might be completely wrong. Listen, we're never going to know what Eddie's going to do because he always throws a curveball in. But the one good thing is we're playing against a team that are out of form, having only won 6-0 the other day at least. And that's good, isn't it? I seen that and I went, oh bollocks. But no, like I think
Bring it on, Ian. Bring it on.
Yeah, I think the midfield. I think the midfield will stay the same. There'll be. I think the changes will be at fullback. I don't know what he's going to do, but I have a feeling that I don't know. Maybe I'm completely wrong here, but I've just got a feeling that that Hall comes back in.
I agree with you.
And I don't know who loses the place for that. For that change, but I've just got that feeling, and I would say there'll be a change up front. Harvey Barnes should, in my opinion, be benched, and whatever he does, he does.
Gordon's be available, Ian. Gordon's available.
Yeah. So Gordon's going to come back in, isn't he? Gordon is the first choice, isn't he? So but yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Just while you're on about the Christmas do, that fits in quite well with my schedule. Actually, I've got to admit. So I'll offer my services as well, free, Steve. If you need anyone to take a microphone and have a little sing song, I'll be there for you, free of charge, obviously.
I'm paying not to hear that though.
In charge of the music. In charge of the music on the night is Sid from Talk of the Tune. He's up at the DJ on the night.
Perfect.
So there'll be
I can bring a guitar.
Singing my Ian.
I've got a new one. I've got a new one. My new one. I did it on holiday. I'm smashing the Gambler at the moment, mate. So you know what I mean. Maybe we'll have a go at that.
Okay, George, we will move to you now. Thursday night, Champions League night. Give us your views.
Yeah. Can't wait, Steve. It's one of those nights that we specialise in at St James's Park, and the fact that it's Barcelona, I don't care who it is, they're not going to find it easy. The lads will have a go at them, and so will the supporters. And like PSG did, they thought they were going to walk all over. Well, didn't they get a surprise? And I think Barcelona will as well. As to the team, it wouldn't surprise me if he does some rotation at centre back and slots Botman in to give Shaw or Burn a rest. At fullback, I would like to see Tino back at right back and Hall back in at left, which means Trippier would be on the bench. Not a bad person to have on the bench with his experience. Midfield, difficult to touch it really at the moment. Up front, well, Gordon's got to come back on. He'll be like a caged lion, and just let's hope his enthusiasm doesn't get him booked again. But yeah, he's a good chance he'll frighten the Barcelona fullbacks to death and upset the apple cart. And on the right side, well, while Murphy's crossed the way he says it's difficult to replace him, but we've got a £55 million player there who's supposed to be up across the ball as well. Maybe this is the time to release him and get him involved in something special to see what he can do. But same thing applies. What a good substitute Murphy is on the bench if we need somebody to come in and plug holes and do things. So I'm really buzzing, Steve, as usual. Can't wait for it to happen and have another one of the special nights that we tend to create at St James's Park. And you know, the new format of the league makes this a free hit. It really does. I mean, before we were, in the group of death, and we nearly got out of it. Well, this isn't a group of death. I mean, the way it's the new formulation means that you can slip up once or twice and still get through to the next playoff round. So it's made, for me, it's made in a way that suits us. And now that we've got a squad that has a bit of depth, it even more suits us. So I'm great, just buzzing, can't wait for it to happen. And I still think we'll turn them over. Do you want a forecast?
Yes, please, George.
Then we're going to beat them 3-1.
3-1 from George. Okay, Kevin, are you as confident?
sort of, because it's it's a Champions League night. I know you don't like the phrase "under the lights" at St James's Park. Granted, it's not a Tuesday or Wednesday; it's a Thursday, which is interesting to me. But never mind, that's another debate for another day. No, it's just a nostalgic fixture that throughout history that we've done well in. I mean, I was there when we won 3-2, and that was one of the nights I'll never ever forget in my life. So if we, and I've said this previously, if we play the way we can play, if we have the right mentality, it doesn't matter what badge or color they're playing, it doesn't matter what badge is on the crest, I don't care. If we have a mentality to go and get about them, make it an English affair, make it an English fixture, make it pretty much what Wolves done to us this weekend, not kick them about, just get involved, make them known that they're in a game. Yes, they've got talented footballers. Yes, they've probably got a deeper squad than that we have somehow, based on their financial situations. So somehow they still get away with it. But it is what it is. So you got to play what's in front of you, and if we can get about them and set a tone early, because as we know, St James's Park within a Champions League night, the crowd is going to be playing a massive effect in this game as well. Like a 12th man, 13th man type of idea. So I again, like George, can't wait. Thursday can't come quick enough for me. Yes, I'll be a bag of nerves. I'll be emotional wreck. I'll be all of the emotions of the above. But it's going to be very interesting to see how we adopt the game based on how Barcelona will play. We know how they're going to play. They're going to keep the ball. They're going to shift it. 5-10 yard passes, blah blah, all of that. But regarding to the team, I think Gordon will come back in. I think Murphy will start just based on a tactical level. Based on when we haven't got the ball, we'll go back into a 5 or whatever in midfield. I think it's not an unfortunate thing, but just from how I say from a shape, I think the one who's going to miss out will be Tino Livramento, and I think you'll keep Kieran Trippier in there for a bit of experience and nous, and I think you'll play Lewis Hall at left back, just for a bit of balance. So again, I'm not going to question Eddie Howe. I mean, he'll probably pull a rabbit out of the hat somewhere along the line, and we'll not expect it. But that's just how I feel. I think the two centre halves pick themselves. The midfield 3 picks itself. But I think again, I'll always go back to your mentality and your approach to the game, and how can we get at Barcelona and not worry about what they're going to do, because we pretty much know what they're going to do. It's just how we approach it. Or is the emotion of the game going to get too much for us? Is it going to be all of that, the occasion, the wall flags presentation, what they're going to put out? How are the players going to be on that night? Are we going to replicate the PSG game when we beat them 4-1? Is that how it's going to go? Or Barcelona going to stifle the crowd? More experience in the Champions League. Again, agree with George and eat a free hit. Just go get after him, get into him. There's a famous old song which we all know: get into him and F him up a little bit. That. Why not make it English? Make it. It's on our home ground, and I say to players, "This is our home turf. Protect our home ground. This is our place where we play football. Don't let the other team dictate and dominate what we know and what we do here. Make it ugly. Make it a bit shithousery, a bit physical. They don't like that. Then when we have the ball, we can play exactly the same game what they want to do. We can fall over, flop, because I'm sure the referee will just buy straight right into it. So for me, I don't want a 3-2 because I don't think my blood pressure will take it, and I don't think I can do that again back in the day. I'll go again. I think we might sneak a 1-0. And be defensively strong and just catch them.
Okay, good stuff, Kev. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Ian, what was your prediction?
Sorry, I am going 3-2 just to make Kevin's blood pressure worse.
All right. Good stuff. Pablo, over to you.
Tell you what, Kev, it was like listening to Churchill then, brother. We will fight them. Weirdly enough, I was looking through the foreign football results at weekend, and the 3-2 popped up with Aspria. Keith Gillespie, he was some boy in, wasn't he? But yeah, Tino Asprilla's shirt, he must have had like an XXXL, and he was only my size. It was class. Yeah, I think that the lads have nailed it, really. I think the changes that probably need to take place is Gordon. I was going to touch on that before. One partnership that really intrigues me, and hopefully we'll see it on Thursday, is kind of Gordon in behind or on and off Walter Mardy, because I think he's the one that would complement Walter Mardy the most. Mm-hmm. So I'm hoping that he does get a chance on Thursday. I think I would go with Lewis Hall left back. I disagree with Kev. I don't think. I know what he's saying about the know-how and the now with Trippier, but I just think that Barcelona, depending on which way you look at it, they bring a certain energy and a movement about them, and I would want Tino to be on that pitch. So I would go with Tino Hall. I think Murphy will start, and I can see the reasonings for that. I just hope that he has, like I said, a Keith Gillespie night where he provides some absolute belters. But it's going to be one of them, innit? George touched on it. You know, people thought we'd get walloped by Paris Saint-Germain, and for me, Paris Saint-Germain are probably a better team currently than Barcelona if you look at the big scheme of things. So there's no reason why we can't go and upset an apple cart. You know, we're from the English Premier League, for Christ's sake. We should be able to go and give a game on our night. I mean, I'm week in, week out, Barcelona would probably beat us 7 times out of 10. You know, but it's a one-off occasion. It's at home. It's going to be special, you know, for everyone involved. So I don't see no reason why we can't turn up and ruffle a few feathers. And George highlighted as well. If we don't. We move on to the next. There's an extra 2 games to play. You know, when you return your focus onto the next game where obviously you'll pick up points. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it, mate. And the fact that it's on a Thursday, you know, is it weird? Is it not? But it'll be good. All the other games will have been played and dusted. You know, so we can all sit down and enjoy that one, knowing what other teams have been up to. So yeah, really looking forward to it, pal. To be honest, I'd go 1-0.
I didn't say what I wanted to say as well. Since I'm number 1 on the hit list tonight, which doesn't very rarely happens, is they don't like it up them either, do they? And we will stick it right up there. Right,
tell you one thing I'm looking forward to, mate, is DJ Sid and MC Ian's Christmas release in the charts.
Yeah. You'll have a bit of competition, I'm sure. Magnus, over to you. What's your feelings?
Yeah, I mean, this is a great opportunity. I mean, I always think of Sir Bobby Robson on a day like this, and you know, I'm sure he's going to be looking down at us from the skies, and I hope for a rainy night, and I can just picture him with that umbrella walking down the pitch. So for me, it's a tough one. Yeah, it always is going to be, and I think we got what it takes. I mean, with a couple of changes maybe up front. I mean, I don't really see. I have to disagree with some of the lads. I don't really see how you can change this defense the way it's playing, and with the Trippier's experience in Spain, I think it would be very, very hard to drop him. I mean, Hall is just unlucky at the minute. You know, I really want him to play too, but right now I just don't see how you can put him in the team. I'm very excited about the game. I think it's going to be a thriller. It's going to be. I really hope for a rainy night under the lights, you know, and show them hell, give them trouble. Be English. I mean, I noticed last weekend. I think it was 6 of our players were English, and the Wolverhampton Wanderers, they had 9 nationalities, you know, and only 1 English player. These guys understand what it takes, and I really am thinking that we're going to win this one. And I'm going to forecast a 3-2 win for us.
3-2.
Because I really believe in the team. There could be a couple of changes. The only changes I can picture is maybe Anthony Gordon coming in for drop the name there for a minute.
For Barnes. Yeah, for Barnes.
For Barnes, sorry. And then, same as everybody else. Well, not same as everybody else. I do think Anthony Alanga is if we're talking horses for courses, then I would put Anthony Alanga on the team. Surely because of his pace, and I think now finally he's got a great player to pass his assists on. And I know it's hard to drop Jacob Murphy, but I believe that would be the only two changes I would make.
Good stuff. Thank you, Magnus. Over to you, Alan.
Well, I agree with Kevin what he said. I was there in the 1997 3-2 win, and seeing Esprilla jump like a salmon was one of the greatest nights supporting Newcastle United. And the atmosphere was absolutely unreal. I'm hoping for the same. I think it'll be 2s each, lads. Cut the predictions straight out there. I think it'll be end-to-end. I think it'll open up in the second half. My nerves and my drippy nerves will be on edge. And I hope so. I hope we're giving them a really good game. I hope it's not one-sided. I'm looking forward to it immensely, but I know we haven't touched on it much, Steve, amongst the lads, but I think the Sunday game against Bournemouth is even more important, lads, to be honest. So rotation is going to be so crucial. Who we put in, I do think Gordon will be in. I think that's certainly it's got to be. And I think I slightly agree with Magnus, actually. Even though I praised Jacob Murphy, I think Alanga might come into this game simply for his pace, but he has to then start to produce. So these are the games that you have to. Maybe the fullbacks as well. Maybe I can see Lewis Hall coming in and Trippier being dropped and Livramento being in because you need young blood in there. But then again, I wouldn't be against Trippier playing on the night. Looking forward to it immensely, lads. Hope it's a great game. Hope we stuff them, really. But I could see it being 2s each.
2-2 from Alan. Yeah, this debate about the team is right. Someone's just said in the chat there, we've got a debate because it's a strong squad. And I mean, that is, with the 2 injuries we've got, it obviously lessens the chance of making changes up top. But the back four is fascinating. It really is. And the link up between Livramento and Gordon on that left-hand side has been really good. Even for England, it's been recognised at the international level. But I can see why people might swap it and change it. But do you change something that isn't broken? But then again, you kind of keep playing people, as Alan says, Bournemouth coming up at the weekend. Eddie's got the decisions to make. That's why he gets paid the big bucks. Jeff, over to you, mate. Barcelona, what's your feelings? Is it going to be 3-2? Is it going to be 2-2? Is it going to be a boring 1-0, a 0-0? Or we're going to get humped 5-0? The world's your oyster, Jeff.
I was waiting for the drum roll. Hopeless.
Oh, hold on, Jeff. Hold on.
Come on, Ali, set me up, man.
Oh, I mean, if you want them.
Dun, 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 dun.
Right, looking into my crystal ball. Last week I predicted 3-0, and I'm very pleased to say we didn't get that. I'm keeping my 100% record. I'll get worried if I actually get one of these right. And generally speaking, Barnes maybe and Trippier you'd look at, wouldn't you? But Trippier is the senior player, and whether they keep him on because he's a senior player, I don't know. Maybe it's in his contract. I'm not sure. And I've got lost with Magnus here, and I'm starting to worry about nogging the nog for some strange reason. And as a former footballer myself, I was playing. A long time ago, I was playing against a prepubescent Steve Bruce in Corbridge in my early days, where I was picked above a guy called Jacob Silverman. Anyway, according to Wikipedia, incidentally, Wolves are the oldest club in the league. They were founded sometime about 1680 when the last wolf in England was killed, which is why they get their name from. Anyway, And remember, as we go into this battle, as Oliver Cromwell famously said, we're all adrift in the sea of blood, and the least we can do is wave to each other. And last, there's a little bit of breaking news I heard. According to the Carlisle Echo, that tragically Michael Knighton has survived having a gold-plated model of Old Trafford removed from his backside. Anyway, I'd like to just say what a pleasure it is to work with Steve. We've known each other since, well, he was at RADA, and he was playing Waiting for Godot, playing Estrogen. And that's really all I've got, apart from to say, you really want to mess with symbols, mate.
Steve, before anybody else speaks,
that's basic 101, mate.
Here's a taxi. The taxi for Jeff.
Jeff has just proved that it is definitely magic mushroom season at the moment.
Darren, over to you. Darren.
Right. On that note, just talking football again. I would play Lewis Hall, left back. I would drop Trippier all day long. I'll play Tino Livramento. I kind of get what Kevin said. You have got like midweek, so next Sunday. But for Barcelona's pace, you need a bit of pace in the centre half the position. So either you play a Bobbin or you play the other one. You've got to play one of the two. You can't just play Sean, Dan Burn, because we need some pace in defence. Barcelona's fast, and I watched the highlights on this morning. The 1-6 out. They look good, mind you, and they're fast. Dan Burn's not fast, and Shaw's not fast. So we need some pace at the back, definitely. I'll keep the same three: Tonali, Bruno, and Joe Linton. Gordon on the left all day long. Anthony Lang on the right. And new boy up front. So I would just gun for it. If we can play how we play against Liverpool, just gonna give it a go. Get people get beat. As long as we play good, I'll accept that all day. So I fancy 2-1 win.
Come on.
Okay. Darren wants to win and hopes it's 2-1. Barry?
There's no way in hell I would want Elanga on that pitch. He hasn't shown anything that makes him deserve a place in the team.
He's got to be given the chance, though.
Bring him on as a sub, Darren, until he shows that he's actually going to do something. Didn't stick him on from the start. Murphy's done now wrong.
That's your opinion, though. I'm not a fan.
Yeah, it's just... Have you honestly seen Elanga do anything decent since he signed?
He hasn't had a chance, Barry, that's the thing.
He's been in a few games. He's done absolutely...
Against Villa, he's done all right. I think against Villa, he's done all right in bits.
Fair enough. It's your.
I'll say I do think against Villa, he's done all right in bits. And maybe done all right against bits. So they're literally on part of the minute.
I think for me, this is going to be the thing if we're going to see how Eddie's going to play the Champions League this season. Yeah, whether he's going to stick with the team that's doing so well in the Premier League, or whether he's going to try and rotate it. I know I put in the chat, I wouldn't be surprised if Ramsdale doesn't come in. I think Ramsdale at some stage will get a game. It's a question whether it's a Champions League or whether it's one of the cup games and this, that, and the other. You're not quite sure how he's going to do it. I totally agree with what the lads have said. I think Hall's got to start. I think for the two guys on either side, Hall and Tino, for their pace. Centre halves, I mean, we've got two, especially Chow, who's got lots of Champions League experience sitting on the bench. Would you chance one of them? Would you put them in? At some stage, they're going to have to play, as much as Botman and Shaw had an absolute blinder the other day. But it's all down to Eddie, isn't it? We're going to be guessing until he names that first Champions League team. I think the midfield picks itself. I don't think I would change any of the three midfielders. Gordon's going to have to come back in. He had a cracking game for England. I think he's far better than Barnes, who's, like the guys have said, not on form and doesn't look as though he deserves the place. We've only got one striker to pick from because there's no way in hell I would want Sula to start on the team. I don't even want him coming on as a sub against them because I just think we should have gotten rid of him in the transfer window personally. And I would go with Murphy. I think Murphy deserves the chance, but we agree to disagree with, like Darren says, it's everybody's opinions. At this moment in time, I don't think Elanga even deserves a place on the bench. I think he's been shocking, but
that's
what the squad's about. He's done nothing apart from maybe his one game. Murphy's set up the goal the other day.
So because he's done nothing, you would put him on the bench?
Huh?
So you would put him on the bench?
I'd have him on the bench because I think he's having a choice.
On the bench.
I just think his performances, he doesn't deserve a start. Let's put it that way. He doesn't deserve a start, but I think it's going to be a battle. I think the fans need to get more involved than they did at the weekend against Wolves. The amount of people who said the atmosphere wasn't the greatest against Wolves, but I think they will be up for it. And I'm fingers crossed 2-1. I think if we show the passion that we've got and the players that we've got play at the form, we can turn them over at home. So I'm going 2-1, Steve.
Okay, good stuff. Al-Walid?
Well, it's a very interesting game, and everybody looking over the world. It's going to be the first game on Thursday. And I believe the players of Newcastle more excited, maybe compared to the fans, because look how we almost now 30 years talking about the Tino and Gillespie Dio against Barcelona, the 90s, and we want to make a new memory for future. And I believe from what I'm reading that Newcastle, that Barcelona have more fear from Newcastle that compared to Newcastle fear from Barcelona. So I believe Barcelona is worrying, and it just personally I worry about the young age of Barcelona players. So we need to really play on the substitution to maintain the stamina until last minute.
Okay, good stuff. Alvin, what's your prediction?
Well, it's very hard, but I could say it's 2-2 or 3-3. I can see a lot of goals.
Okay, good stuff. And it's nice, isn't it? Well, I think we've got everyone's final views there tonight. It's been a good show. Everyone's had a different opinion. But it's nice to get the two most chilled out people on the panel together there at the end. It's a pure fluke, but there's Darren and Al-Walid sitting together. Yeah, I think everybody... That's called sarcasm. Anyway, happy birthday to Tilly again. I hope she has a good day.
Happy birthday, Tilly.
I hope Darren cooks the chicken properly. And
she's coming on night here now, laugh at tea, so
and we'll give the last word.
She'll be bossy tomorrow night, she will.
We'll give the last word to the greedy little duck.
3-1.
3-1. Thanks to everybody tonight. Thanks to Kevin, George, Magnus, Pablo, Jeff, Al-Walid, Darren, Alan, Ian and Barry as well. Thanks to everybody in the chat. Don't forget, pre-recorded show, Talk of the Tune tomorrow at the usual time of 6 o'clock. And then I'm back live on Wednesday night, a slightly earlier day for Super Mac and Gibbo. Take care. Have a good night, whatever you're doing.
Bye-bye.
Cheers, lads.